What's going on, guys? Rapid Reform here. Today, we are going to talk about a habit that nearly every single billionaire has in common. In fact, I have yet to hear of one billionaire without this habit. It's something that we have been doing since we were kids but have often been given the wrong impression about. We're going to talk about the importance of reading books and why you need to get into the habit of reading if you ever want to be successful. In this video, we will talk about why nearly 80% of us do not read books on a regular basis, some of the amazing benefits of reading, the differences between audiobooks and physical books, and finally, I will give you some suggested books that you can get started with. And at the end, I will give you a bonus tip which will make reading an even more powerful habit for you. So let's get into it. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any new videos. Let's talk about why many of us don't read that much. When was the last time you read a book? College? High school? How much time do you spend watching TV versus reading books? You know what? Let's go back to many years ago for an illustration. When I was in elementary school, I was like most kids. I only did things that I thought was fun and I was good at, and I tried avoiding all the things that I was bad at because they never made me feel good. Math and science were two subjects that I really enjoyed because I was good at them, but I honestly hated reading. Anytime my teachers told me to read a book or read a passage and answer questions about it or write a book report, I would always get really bad grades and never be happy with myself. And that carried on for me all the way throughout high school. I had to read things like Shakespeare, Greek mythology, ancient literature, and international literature. Now, I'm not saying any of these categories are bad work, it's just that I never enjoyed reading them. I would always use online summaries or try to watch movies instead of actually reading the book. Sometimes on tests, I would even resort to cheating just to slip out of my English classes. But don't take that the wrong way. I only cheat on tests, not women. No, I'm just kidding. But back to the topic. Once high school was over, I really had no intention of reading ever again because I never found anything that I actually enjoyed. Does this kind of story sound familiar to you? When we are in school, we usually read so that we can take some sort of assessment where they ask us to find the main idea, what some vocabulary word means, make inferences, and so on. Some of us are great at that and really enjoy it, but a lot of us don't. We are given a false impression that we have to read as a way to study, not for leisure. When you read for leisure, nobody will ever ask you to find the main idea, read an ancient language style, or even take any sort of assessment for the matter. You are reading so that you can absorb information and learn new skills, which you usually get from reading self-development books. There are thousands of personal growth books out there, so just imagine how much you can learn if you make reading into a consistent habit. That is why nearly every billionaire reads at least 2 books a month, usually more. It's because they keep immersing themselves into the minds of others so that they can never stop learning and always grow as a person. Bill Gates reads nearly 1 book a week. Tony Robbins reads nearly 2 books a week. Mark Cuban reads nearly 3 hours a day. You get the idea. And that's just one benefit of reading. Some of the other benefits you get include reduced stress, improved English or any other language, better memory, better focus, new perspectives, and better communication and social skills. In fact, there is a famous quote out there that says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If you spend most of your time with people who enjoy hiking and camping, you are probably also an outdoorsy person. If you spend a lot of time in bars with people who love to party and stay up late, you probably do the same. And similarly, if you spend a lot of time reading and learning the perspectives of many successful people, you will start gaining their perspectives as well, which of course makes you a more successful person. Instead of being in your physical vicinity, books let you read or listen to their own words and gain the qualities that they have. So the bottom line is you have to think about reading with an open mind because it's not the same style of reading that you were used to from school. Now you may be thinking, well, Rapid Reform, that's great and all, but I never get time to read books. If it wasn't for school or work, I would totally read books. And this is where the benefit of audiobooks comes in handy. Reading a physical book is great, and a lot of us really enjoyed reading physical books. But one issue with them is that you have to set aside time to read them. Audiobooks, on the other hand, allow you to get the benefit of reading while doing other tasks. Anytime I'm driving, folding clothes, or cooking food, I'm still able to go through almost any book I want. In fact, there are multiple studies out there which have suggested that there is not much of a difference in how much you retain when you read a physical book versus listen to an audiobook. Another thing about audiobooks is that you can control the speed at which you listen to them. Some of us can read words pretty fast, and some of us, like me, end up staring at one page for a bit too long before flipping it when we have a physical book. However, with an audiobook, you are able to speed up or slow down the pace at which the narrator talks, which caters to your attention rate. I usually speed audiobooks up, which allows me to retain more information in less time and also listen to more books every month. And of course, audiobooks allow you to carry less weight wherever you go since they are digital. Overall, I find audiobooks to be much more convenient than physical books, and chances are you will as well. My favorite platform for audiobooks is Audible by Amazon, which has the largest selection of audiobooks that you can find. They have audiobooks on all sorts of topics, especially in the self-development category. You can get started with a free audiobook, and I will put a link to their site in the description. Now that you understand the importance of reading books and the convenience that audiobooks bring, we should talk about some books that you can get started with. By reading or listening to self-development books, you will be able to gain an endless supply of information with topics like health, money, relationships, communication skills, and so on, which will help you grow as a person. The first self-development book I ever read was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I read it as I was entering college because I knew I had pretty bad social skills at the time, and this book gave me a completely different perspective on dealing with people. It will teach you about how you can get people to like you, how you can win people towards your understanding, and how to become an effective leader, so I definitely recommend it. Another book you should read is The 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. A lot of us are growing up in a world that has significantly devalued ethics and morals, even by our own parents. However, this book brings back a lot of important principles that many of us neglect. It will teach you how to become a more giving, friendly, confident, and meaningful person. A must-read for anyone who wants to be successful. A final book I will recommend to you is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book nearly changed my life as it has certainly made me into a much happier person. As the title suggests, the book teaches you how to live in the moment more, take control of your mind instead of letting your mind control you, and gives you some powerful meditation exercises. An essential book for helping to maintain positivity. Alright, that's all I have to help you get started with reading books more often. But wait, I have a bonus tip for you, remember? The bonus tip is to take notes while you read or listen. Because books can give us so much information, it can be hard to keep track of everything that we learn. By taking notes of important details that you come across, you can easily return to them even years after you finish a book and re-emphasize them to yourself. Whenever I listen to audiobooks and I come across a point that I think is very important, I pause the audio and I go into the Notes app on my phone and I briefly write down the important detail in a note section that I've dedicated to the particular book. The only exception to that is if I am driving, where I won't type as I drive, but instead I type all the major details that I can remember as soon as I park my car. For example, when I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, one important point was that you should minimize the amount of arguments you have with another person because they almost never get the other person to gain respect for your words. So I paused the book and I quickly wrote that down before I kept listening. And once every week, I take the time to go back through as many of the notes I've written from the books that I listened to, so that I can keep drilling all of these important points into my head, which has been very powerful for me and will be for you as well. So to sum up what we talked about in this video, reading in school is not like reading for leisure. In school, you read as a way to study, but when you read on your own, you do it to learn new information and skills. Some other benefits of reading include reduced stress, improved English or any other language, better memory, better focus, new perspectives, better communication, and social skills. To make reading convenient for you, I recommend listening to audiobooks since you can listen to them while doing other tasks, control the speed at which you listen to them, and save weight by not carrying extra pages. Some books that you can get started with right now are How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 12 Rules of Life, and The Power of Now, which are all available on Audible as of this video. And finally, remember to take notes of any important details that you come across so that you can look at them even years after you finish a book. Are you inspired to read more often now? If so, you should leave a like for this video. What are some benefits of reading that you have noticed? How often do you read books? Are there any titles that you recommend? Please share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and turn on notifications so that you can rapidly reform your life for the better. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and enjoy reading.